What's up, guys? Kenny Lamons here with Medicare Millennials, the YouTube channel for Medicare agents. It is 79 degrees in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm about to go outside for a run. Stark difference from 7 days ago where it was in the negatives. It's like -3 last week. That's Texas weather for you guys, so if you're not prepared for that, don't move to Texas. In fact, we got too many people already. Don't move to Texas. So today's video, everybody, is my experience with how new insurance, what makes a new insurance agent successful, what are they avoiding, and what are they focusing on. I've been involved to some degree or another, even when at my very first captive agency, in some recruiting and a lot of training of newer agents. And while I don't claim to be the best trainer that's ever lived or anything like that, I certainly have experience in it, and I've seen a lot of new insurance agents fail and a handful of them go on to be very successful. So what I'm going to talk about today is what distractions you absolutely need to avoid and what handful of activities or things are most important in your first year to focus on for you to find success. This is just the brutal truth. Some of you may find it unpopular. However, I just got to stay true to myself and share what my real opinion is and what my experience is with this. So jumping right into it, I'm going to go back and forth for what is most important and what's a distraction. No, never mind. I'm going to go over what matters the most first. Okay, so number one, the most important thing when you get into any type of senior market insurance sales, final expense, Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, whatever exact specialty you're going to go with, is lead flow. Look, I don't care if your strategy is to cold door knock for final expense. I don't care if your strategy is to go to every single food bank in your state and try to market yourself to sell Medicare plans and be the Medicare expert. Or if you're doing something more traditional, spending consistent money on direct mail leads or Facebook leads, whatever the lead flow is, you need to know that up front. You need to have a budget of your time, effort, and your money of how much of those three things it's going to take for you to consistently get your leads. It's why I like direct mail. Although the overall return rates are lower across the country, to me it's still so consistent, so powerful. You give yourself a really high chance of success when you get on a consistent direct mail lead flow. So lead flow, numero uno, super important. Number two, prospecting skills. Give me all the leads in the world, but if I can't get somebody to open the door for me or to book an appointment with me or to talk with me for 2 minutes on the phone so I can get into a presentation, it was all for naught. I'm going to waste a few $1,000s, a bunch of time because I never learned how to prospect properly. Whenever you pick your partner, your upline, your agency, make sure not only are they going to help you get in touch with the right leads, but they're going to help you learn how to prospect because that's so key and crucial. And number 3 and 4 they go together, okay? This is what I group together as like field activity, and that's product knowledge and sales process, okay? You don't need all the product knowledge in the world. Just know your market sufficient enough where you're prepared and don't look stupid. Can always fall back on a upline, a partner, a manager, or call the carrier if you don't know every little bitty answer about product knowledge. But know your product, know your main core product. Focus on that main core product and have a good sales process, okay? Doesn't have to be the best sales process in the world. I mean, I would argue if you're just consistently buying leads and you're getting better and better at prospecting, just a mediocre sales process will suffice because ultimately you're doing the activity. So product knowledge and sales, let's kind of sandwich those together and call that field activity. Prospecting is activity that you do to set up the appointment. Field activity is when you get out there and combine your product knowledge and your sales process and actually see the people or talk to the people over the phone during your appointment. Activity, 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 especially early on. I'll give you some news you might not know about. The better you get and the more you can spend on leads and the more referrals you can generate, which Medicare's boss for generating referrals, the less of the grindy type activity you'll have to put in. But the longer you put that off and you think that's going to happen overnight, the higher your chance of failure. Like, you have to put in a lot of activity early on. You're going to starve out. And then finally is follow-up. So follow up is super important, not overly follow up, but you just need a simple process. I call them the next day, I call them a week later. I make sure that I leave all the proper materials behind so they know exactly who I am and what I did for them and what they purchased. And just a system for retention and referrals so we can minimize chargebacks and maximize referrals. Okay, so recap: lead flow, prospecting, field activity, and follow-up. Those are the only things that ultimately matter. Nothing else matters. Let me give you a handful of things agents often find themselves focusing on that just really don't matter, especially early on. Fancy CRMs, fancy quoters, and any other tertiary thing that's going to make your life as an agent easier. Don't get me wrong. There are good quoters out there. There are great CRMs out there. There are great electronic enrollment platforms and all of these different things. However, I still use Excel spreadsheets. Yep, I admit it. I've dabbled in CRMs, and the moment it took away too much from my moneymaker and I wasn't happy with it, went right back to a good old-fashioned Excel spreadsheet. Eventually, I'll hire someone to manage a CRM for me. Quoters, look, CSG is going to be provided by almost any upline. I don't care who you partner with. They're going to be able to provide you with a simple quoter for free 99% of the time. That's all you need. You could just call the carrier every time you needed to know what the rate was. Keep it simple. I'm not saying not to make use of tools that can help you. Don't obsess over them and don't put much time into them early on, because we need to worry about the core things that we talked about that do matter. Number two, trying to know every little detail. This stops so many agents in their tracks. And quite frankly, it's my biggest pet peeve if I'm coaching or training an agent. There are no stupid questions. I understand that. However, I value your time and I want you to be successful if you work with me. Conversely, I value my time, and the reason that I don't have employees at this moment for what we're doing as far as agents is because I value my time too much. I'm in the field selling, I'm trying to build my book of business, and I want to set the stage for agents to be successful and ask me the right questions and not obsess over every little detail and get paralysis by overanalysis. So what I mean by that is if someone works with me, I really try to help them learn these are the kind of questions you should call the carrier or your carrier rep for, or call the insurance company for. These are the kind of questions you can kind of post in like your group chats or maybe on Facebook that you would ask after you got done for the day. And here's the type of question that actually matters, helps you close the deal, and you need some type of upline or partner that you can call and ask them that type of question anytime. In a nutshell, though, guys, if you get bogged down in the details, you think you have to know everything, you're going to find that you spent so much time trying to learn everything. Now you're out of money, now you're out of time, your back's against a wall, and you never got to go out there and do the things that mattered the most. Just learn more from experience than anything. Worrying about products or opportunities that are not relevant to what you chose to target on. When you get into this business, I highly encourage you to start with one product, or at minimum, maybe you cross-sell one easy product, but ideally, at least for a little while, just one product. Get to know that well. It makes it where you don't get too bogged down in too many details. You're not always looking for the grass to be greener on the other side. Oh, I heard my friend was making more money selling this or that. Go in, know before you commit which product line you're going to give your all to, and put the blinders on and just focus on that first. Maybe it's only 3 to 6 months, maybe it's 2 years. However long it takes for you to start gaining great success in that one focused niche and product line. And then finally, number 4, if you find yourself chasing customers, I get it. If you can only afford 10 to 15 leads a week early on, every lead counts. Don't get me wrong. But when the reason that leads are so important is because it gives us new prospects to talk to every week or every other week, however often you're getting them. And we really want to focus in on the customers who are eligible to buy, they're qualified to buy, and they're willing to buy from us. So as you get better over time, you'll do a better job of not letting people slip through the cracks. I'm not saying only call a lead one time. It's not what I'm saying. Don't obsess over chasing somebody who at the end of the day is not going to buy from you. I've had a few agents do that when they call me like the second time about it. I'm just like, hey, so-and-so, can I be brutally honest with you? That's not a good prospect. I think you're investing too much time in them. It's going to be best for you to move on to the next prospect, even though it hurts. Okay. So look, I hope that was helpful to you guys. Sometimes these type of videos, the information I put out there, can A, be controversial, and B, it can be hard to hear as a new agent, but I think it's very important for you guys to know that. So leave your comments below if you like or dislike. Have a good day.